It has been 1 month since the Richmond Marathon. My name is Mazzanti. I'm a 225 marathon runner. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My goal here is to try to talk about some of the training that's helped me improve over the last 2.5 years, from my first marathon at a 247-ish or just under, to a month ago where I ran a 225. So in this video, I'll talk about really what I've been up to this last month, some of the rehab that I've been doing, and then also the training that I've been getting back into recently. I'm also going to talk about a pretty big change in my training program, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. Brief spoiler alert, but I'm working with a coach. I'll talk more about who that is and kind of what some of my short, maybe more near-term goals are that we've kind of outlined. So really excited about that, and lots to talk about today. I'll get right into it. So about a week after the Richmond Marathon, I took about almost 2 weeks completely off of running. I didn't want that injury getting any worse. Also met with a PT, had some work done there, and then also spent a little time in the gym. So a few different things, just taking care of my body, making sure that I was recovering well before getting back into a new training block. Also did a few other small things. I went and did a full body scan to kind of see where my weight was, my BMR, kind of your resting metabolic rate, and how many calories you're basically burning without exercise, to make sure that I was getting the right amount of calories to both sustain my training, but also to make sure that I'm recovering well and fueled for the next day. So that was good. I haven't done one of those in a while. Body fat percentage also, and again, this was one of the scans you use with your hand, so I know it's not incredibly precise, but it gives me a pretty good ballpark figure. So I was sitting just over 6% body fat. I believe it was 142. With the weight, I've probably gained a few pounds since then around the holidays, with Thanksgiving and Christmas right around the corner. Not too concerned about that right now. Again, just easing back into running, doing some really kind of low, almost like kind of active recovery runs, not really looking at the paces or anything, just going out and just kind of doing what feels good. And that means both intensity and also time. So some of the runs I had were a little bit shorter, 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. And then I did eventually start building that up over time. I went out with a group of guys here in Richmond who are, especially with some of the shorter stuff, a little bit faster than me, and by a little bit, probably a lot, especially where my fitness was after the marathon. So I jumped back in once my Achilles was feeling better, and did a workout with them on one of the evenings, and struggled. It was definitely an ego check, I think aerobically trying to keep up at some of those paces I haven't hit in a while, but it was good. And the important thing was after that, I felt pretty good. The body felt, it was a little bit of tightness the next day, but overall, no real pain. And that was the first sign where I was like, okay, I think I can start getting back into training. So I just got to Jamestown Island here in Williamsburg, Virginia. If you've watched any of the videos, you've seen, especially the lead up to Richmond, that this was one of my main spots when I come and do a hard, long run. So, I think this is almost psychologically a place I tend to go to when I know I've got a hard workout on deck. So today, it's kind of one of those hybrid workouts that I feel like I had a lot of success going, that really helped me improve my fitness, from even a 2:30 marathon to taking 5 minutes off and hitting that 2:25. But so today I'm going to do about a 3-mile warm-up, and then we'll do 4 miles at threshold, which for me right now is probably between 5:15 and 5:20 pace. If it's a little bit slower than that, that's okay, but really trying to find the right effort there. So I've got 4 miles at threshold, and then I'll have a short break, probably a 2 or 3 minute kind of a walk rest, before getting into 8, I believe it's 30-second strides, hitting sub 5K pace, actually sub mile pace for me right now, right around 4:30, or even maybe a little bit quicker, followed by equal rest. And then after that, a 3-mile cool down. So, working pretty hard today, both with an extended threshold session and then going into some higher, faster speed things, really getting the legs turning over. I'll get warmed up here, gonna go do just a short dynamic warm up, just get my body moving again. I've spent the last 45 minutes or so in the car, so need to get up and get some blood moving again. Definitely was definitely a challenge. I hit my paces, but threshold, those 4 miles of threshold, which probably should have been a lot more smooth and controlled. But I felt like that's probably 10K effort, maybe even 5K effort there towards the end. I was really working aerobically. My legs actually felt strong, and I think maybe if I have to think back and just, some good positive things to think about. One, I was able to, hit the splits. I was able to maintain that effort. About halfway through, I was struggling. I wasn't quite sure if it was going to be, if I'd have to cut it short and hit 3 miles or, add in a brief pause, catch my breath and do it. But I was able to hold on, be able to get the whole 4 mile segment in, which was good. But I think probably the biggest takeaway is just that my body felt good. No pain whatsoever in the Achilles or a calf. So big picture, it's nice to be able to push hard and have my body cooperate, feel good. And then after that 4 mile segment, other than just trying to, work on holding, catching my breath and holding on for basically dear life at some point towards the end there. After I had that 3-minute cool down, went into the 200 meters and actually felt really good. My legs felt strong and was pushing the pace. Each one was between 30 and 33 seconds, or that works out to about 4 minute to 25 minute pace, minute per mile pace. So, I was moving pretty quickly and felt good. My legs felt strong. I felt in control. I actually felt much smoother in those 200 meter repeats than I did in that 4 mile segment. So, looking at this workout here, which, I knew was going to be hard physically, also mentally, I really haven't had to push myself or really hold an intensity for that long. And I think that's a skill in itself. So, there is the physical mental challenge, but then there's also just how my body felt. And it's nice to know that my body was able to handle that type of workout. Another change since finishing the marathon is that I started working with a coach. His name is Ian Carter. I actually met him at the Virginia 10 miler earlier this summer, and Ian also has ran at a really high level. He ran a 2:16 marathon, and it's his PR at Indy. So he's obviously capable of running a really high level. He's coaching Simbasa, who just ran. I hate to get this wrong because it's such an incredible achievement, but it was either a 2:07 or a 2:06 at Valencia Marathon. So he's obviously he knows what he's doing, and I feel really fortunate to be able to connect with him, and I think that's going to help take my training to the next level. I will actually not be racing a spring marathon, so we'll be doing some shorter races in the spring. So I'm going to really focus on building speed, working on my turnover, just so I'm able to push that bar forward. Again, all this is with kind of the main goal of improving my marathon time. I do think that's where my specialty is, or at least maybe where my talent is, and the number that I'd like to improve the most. But in order to do that, I'm going to work on trying to get faster, some of the shorter stuff, and want to see and really not want to see, but really work on making then translating that into the marathon and pushing my marathon PR forward from 2:25 to, I guess right now, just something faster. Maybe the next big goal may be 2:20. Might need something in between there. Maybe something in the low 2:20s. But would love to see just some good progress. And there's one thing that I've learned: it's not to put a number on the training. It's just to work really hard. Let that determine where I'll be able to run. And maybe that's a 2:24, maybe it's a 2:20. But I'll just keep working hard, try to do the right things, and see what happens. But otherwise, just keep on training. I'll keep rehabbing, keep stretching, keep doing the mobility, doing all the things that have helped me get healthy. I want to maintain as much of that as I can so I can stay healthy and continue training throughout this winter.